Hey, Fantasy Goats, how are you this Monday, December 8th? And we're on the eve of Monday Night Football and the conclusion of Week 14. Holy smokes, the playoffs are right there on the horizon. We're going to get into the key fantasy takeaways, though, from this final regular season, Week 14. Of course, going to take any and all, of course, of the GOAT questions. There's some big-time injuries that took place yesterday. Well, looks like we dodged a bullet with one, but yeah, then there was another one that's just pretty bad. Pretty bad. Anyway, we're going to get into that. Of course, waiver ads, waiver wire, early waiver show, a preclude to tomorrow's main waiver wire show. But let's get this party started, Goats. Let's go. Hey, Fantasy Goats. I am your shepherd, and I'm here to deliver for you the key takeaways from yesterday's Sunday slate. And of course, I guess we'll have some of the info from this past Thursday night. I actually put on St. Brown onto the thumbnail for Thursday night. Yeah, he deserves it. I don't know. I'm skittish when it comes to Lions. I am in my own head. But yeah, we're gonna get to the key actionable data that we take away from yesterday's action, provided by Ryan Heath over at Fantasy Points, who does a fantastic job. Allows us to use his information, and of course, got to give him credit for that because it's fire information. So why wouldn't I? Yeah. Why don't we? I'm just kind of trying to. I want to see where we want to lead off tonight. Aside from the major stuff, where do we want to lead off? That ain't it. We're not leading off with that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Who's here? All the goats are here. What's up, B Goat? How are you? How are you this evening? One of the key takeaways is that 8-chain is trending in the right direction and his injury isn't serious. You sure are 100% correct, B Goat. What's up, the Chone Goat, baby? The motherfucking Chone Goat and the B Goat and the Chone Goat and the motherfucking B Goat. Yeah, that is definitely something from last night. We were, we didn't have the same details as we do today, and I'm pretty confident that we may have even said something along those lines, and we're gonna have to wait for further information. It's just logical. The only information that we had was that he was able to go back in yesterday in an emergency. Well, I mean, I don't know too many situations where you get into a running back emergency. There's really no such thing as a running back emergency. If there is, if you're down running backs, you don't play with one. If you're really out of running backs, you're just not playing with a running back. You're playing with another position. Drone Goat, baby. The motherfucking Drone Goat and the B Goat. Let me just get this stuff up here. And by the way, if anyone listening to us later, watching us later, if you're new to this channel, please do us a favor. Please like and subscribe. We're marching towards our next goal, which we will hit very, very soon. And then we'll come up with a new one, because that's what you do. You come up with new goals and you achieve them. And we're gonna achieve our fantasy playoffs success coming up in just a few weeks. But it starts this week, obviously. Fannin is looking like a tight end one more and more and more. The only reason why I'm kind of smirking at it is because we're talking about the position. That's all. Yeah, look, there's one stat or one good piece of nugget info that is out there. That seems to be kind of relevant to me in terms of like he's now scored the most fantasy points at this age, being this young. Like he's in good company with like Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelsey. So like that's good company to be in. That means you have a really good outlook. Okay, if you stay the course, that's what that tells me. Other than that, it's God knows what could happen between today and moving forward. Sean Goat Fannin looks good, and the way they use him is good. His usage is good. All that stuff, all that nice jazz is good for Fannin. Good for fantasy. Shador Sanders, if he keeps playing like that, it's a good weapon to have for the Browns. It's a good weapon for us to have in fantasy. But let's take yesterday also with a tiny bit of grain of salt, tiny bit, because I don't want to really like poo-poo the performance of Shador Sanders, because I like Shadori, especially after what happened to him during the draft. Kind of like getting like blackballed. And it wasn't just the league blackballing him; he blackballed himself too. But nevertheless, they were playing the Titans yesterday. They were playing the fucking Titans. So, I mean, again, good performance, really good performance. At home, he had like 37 fantasy points. So other skill positions are gonna reap the rewards of that. B Goat. Harvey had a good backup. Yep. Yeah, sure did. We were looking at that. We were looking for that because it doesn't get much easier now. Back to back, but his schedule is hard. Yep, his schedule, and if you're a Harvey manager, yes sir. Trone Goat baby. What do you think about the Bengals hiding Higgins concussion? He will likely miss 2 weeks or 3 rest of the season since their playoff hopes are shot. I think it's freaking unfortunate. I think it's lousy. Of course, what do I think? He had a great game yesterday. He had a great game. He got hit. They examined him. They let him go back in. So whatever the hell he did, it's the Bengals, but at the same time now in today's NFL, I don't think you get these free passes anymore by team doctors and independent doctors. I just don't think they want to deal with it. They don't. They're gung ho on making this game as safe as possible, and then the game of football. I mean, it's almost like a what do you call those? You know what I'm talking about. Like a catch-22. Doesn't make sense. Football, safety, as safe, but it's still football. What do you think about the Bengals hiding Higgins concussion? I don't know if they hit it, but let's talk about that. He's probably going to miss some time. Yeah, he's going to miss at least this week, probably. It sucks. That sucks. It sucks. If you're a T. Higgins manager, you got him back for yesterday, put up that game yesterday, and now you're going to lose him again. Sucks. Got to make it up. Got to make those points up. Right, Sport Doggy Dog? Sport Doggy Goat. Sport Doggy Doggy. Tell all your fellow goats, I'm pretty sure, unless the wheels come off my cart. Well, number one, you are the goat. So you're telling B Goat and Trone Goat. I mean, I wish I could save this message, this little chat. I could probably clip this shot right here if I wanted to, and then I could blast it, distribute it to the rest of our media platforms. The main one being the Elon Twitter machine. Tell all your fellow goats unless the wheels come off my cart. Your cart. I like that. I'm happy for you, sport doggy dog. But you know that we have now another we have another mission, right? We took care of the first mission, right, Sean Goat? We took care of the first mission, which was more like the marathon mission. Now we have the sprint for 3 weeks, 15, 16, and 17. I'm happy for you. The wheels probably won't fall off the cart, and whenever we use that expression, it means like a lot has to go wrong. Where you could afford one wheel as opposed to several wheels to fall off the cart. Sport doggy goat. You know what was like the you want to know what was actually the joke, the evil joke from the NFL? Having the Niners on the week 14 bye, when all managers that took the gamble with CMC rolled that dice in August or July. You drafted CMC, and this guy fucking has another career, a season for the ages. And the Niners are on their bye. So the league that I did that, which happens to be my main home league of 23 seasons. That's right, 23 seasons. My main home league, my main prize league, which is an auction keeper league, by the way. So I had to win CMC at auction. I bid it on him. I won him. Look at the season this man's having. He's off. He's off this week. I'm clinging on to a playoff spot right now, but the team also sustained other fucked up injuries. Fucked up fucking Drake London, Garrett Wilson. But we have some home runs too, though. We had some home runs, some nice, promising picks that I could keep for next season. So it's not like the season is just like, it's not that terrible. Kyle Pitts comes up on our radar again. Well, look, okay, Rashid Shaheed, very nice, Rashid Shaheed. So Nate Goat and anybody that had Rashid Shaheed in the lineup for return yards, this was the first time he's out-targeted. He out-targeted Cooper Kupp yesterday and A.J. Barner. That's promising. I highly doubt we're going to get a lot of Rashid Shaheeds in the lineup this week because still that's way too unpredictable. But one game yesterday, he finally out-targeted Cooper Kupp, who actually scored, and A.J. Barner. A.J. Barner has been a good tight end for them. Kyle Pitts has seen a target share of 29%, 22%, 24%. I wonder why. I just mentioned why. The dude's name is Drake London. That's why. He hasn't been playing in 3 weeks. 2 weeks. We're going on the third week right now. I hope. I'd like him to play. If I can make this through, holy shit. Drone Goat, baby. I had a shot at the playoff bye. But put up my worst performance of the year. Had Jaden Daniels. Went out quick. Ertz, he's done for the season. That's one brutal injury along with Daniel Indiana Jones. Look, if you got in, it doesn't matter. The 75 points, right? The 75 points, now knocked you out of a bye. All right, we're gonna play. We're playing week 15, right? Sport doggy goat. We're playing week 15. I had CMC, and that's why I was going crazy trying to fill that huge hole on the left. Yep. That was the cruel evil, like ha 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 joke from the NFL. Not only are you going to get CMC back this season real healthy and CMC-like, but your final week of the regular season in your fantasy, we're gonna put him off. We're gonna leave him off. We're gonna give him off. The NFL pays attention to fantasy. They absolutely pay attention to fans. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about the actual office, the league. They pay attention to fantasy and how it pertains to their customer. That would be us. Ultimately. No, not necessarily NBC and Fox and Amazon. Those are partners. We're the customer. Yeah, Tron Go baby. Look, only put up 75 points, but we also mentioned you made a drop yesterday, right? You made a drop. There it is. Okay. You initially dropped Goddard for Ertz. Once Ertz went down, panicked and dropped Corum back for Goddard. Since he wasn't locked, it's amazing to me that you are still able to make these moves when a player already is in progress, right? So Ertz got hurt and you dropped him already, and then you re-added Goddard, but you had to make another drop, and that other drop happened to have been Blake Corum. My other running backs are CMC, Barkley, Warren, Gainwell. Warren yesterday, and I'm sure we'll cover this right here on the key takeaways from Ryan Heath over Fantasy Points. Warren had about 15 fantasy points, and I think Gainwell had about 15 fantasy points. Again, almost like a damn near 50-50 split. They're not rushing the ball well, though. And I'm not sure I really need the data here. I saw the game with my own eyes. I watched the Ravens and the Steelers. They can't run the ball. Aaron Rodgers ran the ball in for a touchdown. Now again, Jalen Warren did cross over that pay dirt on a pass, and I get it. I get. Look, we don't care how it comes in as long as we get the points. I get it. I mean, and then the Ravens defense is still middle of the pack. They're not that good. They're not that good. They got smoked up for most of that game. Who do the Steelers get this week? They got the Dolphins this week, right? They have the Dolphins. That's not an easy game. That's not an easy game anymore. Right off the bat, preliminary, without knowing the rest of the players on the team that you have, like I see CMC, I see Barkley. Looks like we would have to choose between Warren or Gainwell if we wanted to flex, or we're going to leave them off the bench or off the starting team altogether. The Ertz went down. You picked up Goddard, but Goddard was then headed for Corum. It's all right. It happens. That shit happens. Of course it happens. Happens to the best of us, Tron Goat, baby. The Tron Goat, the motherfucking Tron Goat. Let's do some of these here. Oh, yeah. Talk about playoffs. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Motherfucking playoffs? I'm going to backdoor my way into a league. Yep. So the sniper is going to beat me, which she wants nothing more to do than just to beat me. But based on the teams that are in the 6th spot and the 7th spot with one game below my 7 wins, they're at 6. They're going to lose. I'm just going to backdoor my way into the Warrior Bowl playoffs once again, which I won last year. I'll take that. I'll fucking take that. Why wouldn't I? Is that sniper? No. Seymour. Hello, Seymour. Seymour Goat. Hello. How are you this evening? If you're new to this channel, please give us a like. Please subscribe. Does a bear shit in the woods? Of course, man. Dynasty. We played Dynasty. I played Dynasty. One dynasty team is looking to win the league. One of my teams. That would be my partner. That would be Commissioner Rhino's Dynasty League. I'm about to smoke that league up. Pretty solid you. Pretty solid you. How about pretty solid you? Ooh. Ask away, my friend. Ask away. Seymour Shuriken. Pretty solid you. Sometimes. What's up, Adrian Goat? How are you this evening, Adrian Goat? Justin Jefferson rest of the season if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't play. Over Justin Jefferson. So you're asking if you have Michael Wilson, but you also have Justin Jefferson. If Marvin Harrison does return this week 15, would you still play Justin Jefferson? That's what you're really asking. Do we play Michael Wilson over Justin Jefferson? I think the answer is yes, as crazy as that sounds. But, or if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't play, that's the second condition that we're talking about. So, like, let's try to break it up. Let's say Marvin Harrison Jr. does not play. Now you've got, okay, Michael Wilson wheels up again versus do I start him over Justin Jefferson? That answer is yes. Okay, news is Marvin Harrison Jr. will return to action. Marvin Harrison Jr. will play week 15. Do you start Justin Jefferson over Michael Wilson now? That's the key. That's the tough one. I can't believe this dude, JJ McCarthy, rebounded yesterday, hung 31 points. Not necessarily all him, but the Vikings they shut out the Commanders, and Justin Jefferson had like four targets. He had like no fantasy points. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I didn't think we would ever get to that point. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild, Adrian Goat. It's wild. I think we'll better answer this. Honestly, we'll have a better answer Wednesday. Let's see how Marvin Harrison Jr. is trending. We'll have a better answer on this Thursday when, again, more practice reports come out. I don't think that injury was that serious. Like, it wasn't like Achilles heel. It was more like heel bruise, not like a strain of the heel, which a lot of people would imply could potentially be your Achilles tendon, part of the heel. My team is going to make the playoffs. Well, congratulations, Goat. If Lad, I see you, Adrian Goat. If Lad and Quentin Johnson score 20, I'm down like 197 and 178, but I don't think I'll make it far. What do you think of this year's rookie class? I'll tell you right off the bat, the running backs aren't as strong as this previous class that came out. I don't think the wide receivers are as strong. And as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, the jury's still out. We're gonna get a lot of hype and smoke on all of them, to be quite honest with you. And we're gonna have to dive into a lot more of it once these college playoffs are over. Because a lot of their performances, a lot of these dudes who play in these games on their biggest stage, I kind of feel like they get inflated, and rightfully so, because you're playing against the best college teams, not like Notre. So I heard yesterday, funny you bring this up, listening to Colin Cowherd last night with his reaction show with John Middlecoff, which is a good reaction show. I watched that show for our show. And they were talking about the college football playoffs, blah, 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 blah. And he brought up the fact that the Notre Dame schedule this year was weak against the teams that they played against. Those defenses weren't that good. So what does that say about like their running back prospect? So yeah, I'm a big believer in pedigree. Okay, when it comes to drafting, I believe that I would want I want Penn State edge rushers. I want Ohio State wide receivers. I want LSU wide receivers. I want Penn State running backs. I'm a believer in pedigree and where you and the college that you came from. I want Texas wide receivers, Alabama players. So what do I think about this year's rookie class? Well, the jury's still out. There'll be every class. The real draft analysts are always going to weigh in on like, okay, whether this class was better than the other class. Is this class better than the other class? I mean, what did the last year's quarterback class got us? Caleb Williams, got us Jaden Daniels, got us Drake May. I don't think this quarterback class coming out is going to be anywhere near that. Same goes for the running backs. Last year's wide receivers that came out last year. Ted McMillan, Emeka Ibuka. They said it was weaker for wide receivers. But again, it all depends on where you're coming from, and it also depends on the landing spot. What team? Right, Adrian Goat? Hampton or A.J. Brown? Oh, I would go A.J. Brown. Here. I'm all right with A.J. Brown here. This isn't a must-win, right? Hampton's coming back. He's also going to share some time with Kamani, the body. We're going to see. We need to see how that looks. Hampton hasn't played since week 5. I mean, like, we don't have a real good body of work on him. Marion Hampton from North Carolina. Marion Hampton was a first-round pick. Ashton Genty was a first-round pick. But look at where Ashton Genty plays. He plays for the Raiders. Woody Marks was a 5th-round pick. Woody Marks was playing on prime time last night. So a lot of it has to do with the landing spot. So yeah, great question, Seymour Goat. Again, do us a favor, please like and subscribe. We'll be here, by the way, right, Justin Goat? We will be here all off season. There's no off season here at the Fantasy Goats. We will be breaking down into the rookie class. We're going to talk about that. We're going to analyze it ourselves. We play Dynasty as well. Yes, we play Dynasty. Of course, we play Dynasty. Who doesn't play Dynasty here? Only those that aren't psychotic like myself. You're locked in. All right, good. So go play AJ Brown for the points. Let's not be surprised if we see Hampton get usage as if nothing happened. First week of the playoffs for me. First week of the playoffs for me. I'm down 32. So your first week was week 14, Justin? Is that it? There's Adrian Goat. There he is. Look at that. What a fucking message, man. What a fucking message. Love it. Appreciate you, Adrian Goat. Appreciate the Chong Goat. Appreciate the Justin Goat. Appreciate all the goats. A lot of goats. Sport Doggy Goat. The Chong Goat and the B Goat. My fucking goats. I almost rested everyone just because my league doesn't have a first round bye. Yeah, that's when I would say let's not get that cute. Yeah, you give you guys some rest. I have Jalen Hurts and Cameron the Dicker. You think I have a chance? For me, I'm down 32 points with Jalen Hurts, with Dicker the kicker. I think if you could get Jalen Hurts at the high floor of like 22, 23 points, maybe more, considering if they get a little bit more pass happy, and he does one tush himself, then you have it. Then you most likely have the 32 all by himself. But let's say let's knock 10 off of that. Let's go to like at least 22. Dicker should get you 10. Don't quote me on that though. Don't quote me on Dicker the kicker. I think you could get it with Jalen Hurts, J Goat, without question. They're calling this game a home game for the Eagles. Yeah, so you need 44 from Jalen Hurts and Cameron Dicker and A.J. Brown. Oh, that's this scenario. 44 between three players a hell of a lot more easier. Take a look at this one, and it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that he does this in some sort of sequential order. Inside the 10-yard line, which is considered to be the high value opportunity. Carries have been split over the past 4 games between Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. So here we are talking about a Marion Hampton, Kamani Vidal, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, freaking Kenny Walker, Zach Charbonnet. Now we're talking about Bijan Robinson, who went like 4th, 5th, 6th overall, right back to you. See more here, draft capital and players, where they're drafted, what team, their landing spot. Bijan Robinson in Atlanta. They drafted this dude so high in 2023 after already drafting Tyler Algier in 2022. What would be the reason to draft this type of talent so high if you already had a capable running back? Well, we're seeing it. Forget about how they approach their draft, which is very suspect. Forget about that. Week 11, Bijan Robinson 3 carries to Tyler Algier's 1. Week 12, Bijan Robinson 1, Tyler Algier 0. Week 13, Bijan Robinson had 3 inside the 10. Tyler Algier had 2. Still 60-40. Yesterday, he had 0 Bijan. Tyler Algier had 2. That said, both Algiers today were on the team's final drive when they were down 37-9. But that's it. Both of Algiers today were on the team's final drive when they were down 37-9. So Tyler Algier played in garbage time. What an absolute travesty that he's on that team, Bijan Robinson. Who do you think would be better? Henderson and Love for Stafford and Debo in Week 15. Who do you think will be better? Trevion Henderson and Jordan Love? You making a trade? Is this the crux of the question? Or this is more like which combination there was a trade? I was offered the trade and I have Henderson, but I'm scared about Love versus Broncos. Rightfully so. Although he's playing very good football right now. So even if he doesn't throw 3 touchdowns, he might be able to get 2. If he doesn't throw for 300 yards, he might throw for 240. But rightfully so. Who do you think would be better? Trevion Henderson with Jordan Love for Matt Stafford and Debo. I don't want anything to do with Debo. I don't know if I'm starting Debo Week 15. Although they played better. He played better with Mariota, as did McLaurin. And then the wheels came off yesterday, but let's give a little bit of credit to the Vikings defense. I said that. freaking damn near all weekend. That defense, those DBs made me nervous. And I have Henderson, but I'm scared about Love versus Broncos. Do you have is there another backup on your roster for this equation without having to where you could decide between Stafford and somebody else? Or no, you're rolling with one quarterback, which again, I don't necessarily recommend because you just saw how they help. I had Daniel Jones. Yep, that's me. You damn near finished my sentence. You damn near finished my sentence. I would probably roll. I would probably roll with Love because I would want Trevion Henderson as a running back to possibly play in the flex. That's what I would want. But if you don't, and you're liking Stafford, then that's it. It's Stafford, then we have to decide on whether or not to go with Debo. I bet you I got some good Debo here. I bet you there's got to be something here on Debo. T. Higgins. Need a tight end streamer? No. I have the Titans. Titans running backs. What a joke. There's Harold Fannin. Here's my Fannin guy. B-Goat. Fannin. 25% target share. With Shador. 25, Michael. 65.7 receiving yards per game is tight end 2 with Shador. In three starts. 15.4 fantasy points per game is tight end 2 with Shador in 3 starts. Harold, absolutely. Harold, man, as crazy as this sounds, Harold could be like a league winner. Might be a little league winner. That's fucking wild. I prefer Stafford. He's playing to win. Yeah, so is Jordan Love, right? I mean, Stafford's playing good. Stafford's playing great, and Jordan Love's playing great. That's why, I don't like. I'm trying to think. Like, okay, let's say I had Daniel Jones. Now he went down, and my backup quarterback is Jordan Love going up against the Broncos. I think I would just have to suck that up and be like, okay, you know what? I bet you that's a good game. I bet you he still gets across at least twice. Mariota, look at what Mariota did in kind of a fluky Monday night game. So, or maybe it was Sunday night game against the Broncos on the road. Where's that game? Is that game in Denver or is that game in Lambeau? That changes things too. If the Packers have to go to Denver, then knock a couple of points off of that. But still, okay. See, Adrian Goat. I think you're speaking more my language. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be that nervous with Jordan Love. I don't. If you want Love, Ham's Goat, go get Jordan Love, and let's not be worried about it. Yeah, I think I'm with you. How sure they are coming back big. Yeah, that's for Jordan Love. It's good if you're the Jordan Love manager. It's good thing. Now let's flip the coin. Okay, now which Green Bay Packers wide receiver? Well, we know Christian Watson. Okay, that's great. Last week it was Dontavian Wicks. This week it's Bo Melton and Jaden Reed. Give me something here. Give me something. I know he's got some. Oh, here's some Vikings stuff. All right, so the Vikings. Let's go back. Adrian. Despite the Vikings winning 31-0 and J.J. McCarthy posting career highs in passer rating, blah, 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 Justin Jefferson commanded just a 17.4% target share. No kidding. That 17.4 amounted to 4 targets. This was just the second time over the past 3 years that Jefferson didn't receive at least 20% of the Vikings targets in a healthy game. What the? That's wicked. That's wicked stuff right there. Lone Star. What's up, Lone Star, baby? What's up, Lone Star Goat? He's been out since week 5. This is as close to a must-win for the Chargers as it's going to get in a building that is supposed to be a home field, but it's not in this game. I think because Justin Herbert's got screws and plates in his hand, I don't know how free he's going to be to just stay in there and throw without running the risk of getting hit. Hampton's workload, if they execute their game plan of running the ball and rushing the ball, 14 to 15 total touches. That would be my max. 14 to 15 total touches. So that would include passes, catches. And then in terms of how much of that, like does he get all of that on? How many snaps does he get? I'm gonna go with between 45 to 55% of the snaps on offense. That's the move, Lone Star Goat. That's the move. Well, that's the prediction, I should say. That's what I'm predicting. If I had the crystal ball. I know they want to get him out there. They want to get him going. Call it like game action, ramp up of game action. And Kamari Vidal's filled in pretty nicely. So, I mean, and we know that they want to run the ball. We know that they want to use 2 backs and they want to run the ball. They see what the hell the Bears are doing. They see what other teams are doing and how successful it is. That doesn't make it great for fantasy. It makes it a nightmare. Jim Harbaugh, though, they're gonna want to win this game, and they're gonna want to kill the clock, and they're gonna want to keep the Eagles off the field, and they're gonna want to run the game, but you've got another guy there now. Also, you got a Kamani the body, Devon A-Chain left the game early. This may not matter, and it sounds like A-Chain is okay, but once he left, Jalen Wright had 81% of the backfield and 3 targets. Ollie Gordon only had 19%. So that's when A-Chain went out. That leads me to believe that if A-Chain were to miss any time whatsoever, I think Jalen Wright's the next guy up, not Ollie Gordon. That's what that tells me. Devin Neal, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and goats. Devin Neal, 70% and 76% Saints backfield carries, including Taysom Hill over the past 2 weeks. Devin Neal has seen 70% and 76. Oh, including Taysom Hill. That, I guess that would mean when Taysom Hill is under center. His target share fell from 8% last week to 5%, but notably he became the first post-Kamara Saints running back to actually receive a carry inside the 5. That's pretty interesting. The first running back post-Kamara to receive a carry inside the 5. I think we may have a new gem here. We may have a freaking gem in Devin Neal for the remainder of this season and moving forward. If this continues to pan out the way it is. We're not leaving this show until we cover this. A Mecca Buka. I need a sip. I need a sip of some Celsius before we get into a Mecca Buka. Good enough for me. Yeah, that would be good enough for me too, considering. And again, let's not forget. Look, that's all operating under the presumption that he's kind of like churning them out, right? He's like, if he breaks off like a really big play, a nice explosive play whether it be on the ground or in the passing game, they'd be inclined to the fantasy points are just going to stack from there. But let's keep it let's keep it modest for a reason. Let's keep it to 85 and then like a couple of catches. Let's give him 12 to 13 fantasy points today. Plus or minus. Flex Devontae Smith. I'm 80 plus points ahead. You're welcome, Josh Allen. Oh, yeah. Puka. Mike Wilson. Fangio. What a fucking team, Lone Star, baby. Lone Star. What a freaking team. Good enough. Nah, Flex Devontae. Well, go ahead. Flex Devontae, man. You're up 80 points. You're up 80 points, man. Go flex the Devontae. What's the alternative? Who cares? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know what I would want? I would like, let's try to save some of these points for next week, Lone Star. I like AJ Brown and Devontae in this game. I like both of them. Why? Because all of a sudden, much like the Vikings and Justin Jefferson are like completely lost, it seems we have the same problem with the Eagles and Saquon. The combination of the offensive line not being the same and maybe he's not the same. They have to pivot their identity at this point. If they ever had one, they must pivot to what's successful. And what is successful is passing the ball right now. What up, Philip, baby? What up, Philly? What up, Philip Goat? It's Devontae's turn this week. I'd say give him both the rock. Why not? I love Devontae Smith, by the way. Love him. Since 2022, so that would have been his second season. Very, very talented wide receiver. Then what did they do? In that season, in 2022, I think is when they got AJ Brown. Hopefully. Well, yeah, you know what? Yes, of course, hopefully, because I mean, anybody that's holding on to Saquon Barkley right now and is still playing next week or this upcoming week, 15 playoffs or whenever your playoffs start, and you have Saquon, of course you're going to want it. We need to see a good game from him, of course. Whether you're a Justin Jefferson fan, I mean, do we just want to see this guy like never score again? Of course not. We need to see some sort of relationship develop between him and quarterback, not him and head coach. We know that that's there. I've got a Lone Star, baby. Lone Star. Lone Star coat. Emeka Egbuka without Mike Evans. 37.5%. This is over 6 weeks. 35.5%. 30.2%. 32. Now it drops to 23%. 28%. 30%. But look at the fantasy points, 6.5. Target share, yeah, six fantasy points, 23 fantasy points. This previous week, 30% target share, 3.5 fantasy points. What is going on? Since week 8, Emeka is the wide receiver 4 by target share. He's getting an insane amount of targets, is what it's telling us. But he's wide receiver 38 in fantasy points per game. What is you're gonna have to? I need more information. I need to know something else because something does not make sense. You're the 4th leading wide receiver in target share. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I could go. Just go down the list. All wide receivers. He's 4th. Lad McConkey, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Emeka Egbuka is the 4th wide receiver with the highest target share. But he's wide receiver 38 in fantasy points per game. Something's wrong. Big time. Big time. Big time. Something's wrong there. Mike Evans potentially returns Thursday. That's great. That does nothing for us. Here's Michael Pittman saw 34% yesterday with Riley Leonard. Alec Pierce was 17.2. Tyler Warren 17.2. Josh Downs 13.8. None of that's good. None of that is good. Even Pittman's is good. But Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, and Josh Downs is not good. Bashal Tune, that was the end of him. DK Metcalf, welcome to 2025. Although I did make a bold call week 7 or 8-ish when the Steelers played the Browns. I made a bold call that DK was going to have a good game, and he did. Why? The Browns DBs. They're not that good, although that defense is good. Well, we know that they're not that good. Look what the Titans just did. He commanded a season-high 35% target share, finishing behind Puka. That was a hell of a game. Derrick Henry is now tied with Jonathan Taylor for the most carries inside the 10-yard line for any running back. Here's our R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey has now had between 60% and 65% backfield carry share in all 3 games since J.K. Dobbins. Makes sense. This week he received every carry inside the 10-yard line. That's good. And he commanded a season-high 15.8 target share, leading all running backs. Lex Luthor, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and goats. Lex Luthor Burden, 17.1% target share without Rome Odunze. He looks good. He looks more than just like a Swiss army of wide receivers. He doesn't have a full route tree yet. It's a lot of design stuff with Lex Luthor, but I think I was not high on Lex Luthor coming into this because of that. You know, the knock on him was that he only runs a couple of routes. He's only good at a few of them. Colston Loveland had 14.3. DeAndre had 11.4. The rookies are leading, but this offense remains very spread out. Yes, obviously. And one more, I think, if not, the Packers didn't have a single player above a 16% target share for the first time all season. Jaden Reed immediately tied Christian Watson and Luke Musgrave for that team-leading mark in his first game back. That team-leading mark was 4. So Christian Watson had 4, Jaden Reed had 4. And I guess Luke Musgrave had 4 targets. The great thing about Christian Watson, Goats, yesterday was the fact that he had a huge yard after the catch for the touchdown. It wasn't just these deep bombs. And then he gets another 6 targets and no catches. He was actually very efficient. Christian Watson yesterday. And clearly he seems to be, or he always has been, Jordan Love's favorite. I want to use the word favorite because I know Matt LaFleur doesn't really like to use the word wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. They each have a role, and those roles kind of work off of one another. Romeo does stuff that Bo Melton can't do or isn't good at. Dontavian Wicks, who disappeared yesterday, does stuff that maybe Christian Watson can't do. They all work interchangeable like that. Clearly, Watson seems to be the most skilled, and Jaden Reed would be a close second for me in terms of most skilled. Some Ram stuff, Goats. Aside from the fact that they were pissed that they lost to Carolina and they smoked Arizona, here's Blake Corum. He finished with only 1 fewer carry and was involved. Corum finished with only 1 fewer carry and was involved throughout. He out-carried Williams in the first quarter and saw the same number as him in the third. You don't got to tell me that. This isn't that different from the Bears' 55-45 backfield split. Oh, that split. You mean the split that we were looking out for on our Thursday show? This previous Thursday, we were looking at DeAndre Swift and Money Guy. We were looking for them. Motherfucking goats. Sport doggy goat. Sport doggy goat. You can always ask, man. You always ask. You ask and we answer. You do it really. After his quarterback is out. What do I do with Veal after his quarterback is out now? Do I drop him out? Devon Veal's quarterback is shook. So which quarterback is out? Tyler Shook? No. Do I drop him? Or depend on the backup quarterback? You're thinking of somebody that is on the Colts? Because that quarterback is out. Sport doggy goat. Sport doggy. Devon Veal, it was a clunker yesterday. They came back down to earth. Him and Adonai Mitchell. There isn't much left to add, so I would you can maybe hold on to Devon Veal. I don't think it's going to hurt. We're not going to use him. I'm not going to recommend starting him week 15 based on what we just saw yesterday. But Michael Wilson, again, I'm going to get back to the sport doggy. Michael Wilson has come in at 31.6, 30%, 36.4% target shares without Marv. When they play together, they've combined for 31.6%. That would be like 14 and 16, some shit like that. Ridiculous. Michael Wilson damn near absorbs all of Marvin Harrison's targets. When Marvin Harrison plays with Michael Wilson, it's cut in half. That's all that's telling us. That's important information too, because once Marvin Harrison Jr. returns, we could expect the target share to be slashed by 50%. Is what this is telling us. 50%. That's crazy. That's a lot. That's lousy for Michael Wilson. Nothing on Devon Ville from our friend here over fan. He did give us Devon. He gave us Devin Neal from the Saints, but nothing for Veal. I'll look more into Devon Veal. Look, I haven't. I like Devon Veal as a player. I liked him on the Broncos. I don't understand why he's just starting to get going now with Tyler Shook. But that being said, this is the most critical part of the season for us. You you meant Alec Pierce. I think Alec Pierce is gonna kind of sort of take a dip. We're gonna see his production take a slight hit. Yeah, look at it right here again. And Alec Pierce is someone that I'm not gonna want to drop yet either. I'm gonna put him in the same boat like Devon Veal. The Colts target shares in 3 quarters with Riley Leonard under center. Pittman saw 34.5 and he caught 8 of 10 targets. And then it was a mixed bag. Then it was Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, and Josh Downs all saw half of that amount. And the other thing to consider now also, right? Aside from like the quarterback downgrade, but the quarterback downgrade does get a full week of practice now. I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference. Here's the other wild card, though. Big time wild card. I know that there's already some reports surfacing that there's no way Anthony Richardson will get cleared and activated to play at least this week. But what happens if it does happen in week 16? Now, what do we do with Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren? Right now, though, I wouldn't start Alec Pierce just like I wouldn't have started Devon Ville based on that performance. Sport doggy goat. Motherfucking sport doggy. And then the Lone Star, and the Lone Stars, and all my fucking goats. My goats. Yeah, Alec Pierce is having a nice year, too. So that's kind of lousy. It's lousy. Yeah, the injuries suck. Even if you don't have Daniel Jones, look at the ripple effect, right? Look at Jonathan Taylor. Oh yeah, so just give him the ball. Give him the ball. Be hard to when you have 9 people up front trying to stop him because they don't believe Riley Leonard can make a play. Yeah, Alec Pierce. We're obviously gonna have all week to really go through this sport doggy. Really look at some PFF stuff. Listen to some of my people. What they have to say about it. Therefore, we can make our decisions, come to our conclusions on whether it's workable, doable, or no, thank you. Right? That's all we could do. That's all we could do. Sport doggy goat. All right, gentlemen, boys and girls and goats. Friendly reminder, of course, this is the week 14 key takeaway show. Tomorrow we're back with the waiver wire show. That doesn't change, goats. That does not change. Waivers does not change. We are here for it all off season, but waivers does not change tomorrow. I'm just reading shit. Thursday, it'll be our week 15 preview. What we're looking for, what we're going to be looking at for the week 15 games, man. Holy shit. Friday, lineup advice. Saturday, starts it. Sunday is our reaction. A week from today, it'll be the week 15 key takeaways. I appreciate you all. You've got guys tonight. Only the best of luck to you. Only the best of luck. No, guys, enjoy the game. Drone goat, baby. Yeah. Okay, so like I just said, like there are reports that are surfacing regarding. I actually asked Grok about Anthony Richardson's practice window and whether he could be elevated off of IR because you're only allowed a certain amount, right? You're only allowed a certain amount of moves that you can, put on and take off of IR. So I asked, and yeah, no, the Colts can take him off of IR. They are able to do that. But while all this out now, the Anthony Richardson chatter is taking place last night. I also saw that if Joe Flacco and the Bengals can mutually agree on the release, there's a quarterback for the Colts. I don't see that happening. Joe Flacco wasn't very good with the Colts. Phillip Rivers, though. Phillip Rivers wasn't really that good with the Colts either. I think their best bet, honestly, and I know that they're sitting at 8 wins. The playoffs are slipping away from them, but they're still, with 4 games to go, it's not like they're getting eliminated right away. They just need to stop this cold streak, and it's not getting any better for them. I think you roll the dice with Anthony Richardson right now. I would roll the dice with Anthony Richardson. It's one of those types of deals, one of those types of stories. Comes in, they're very careful with him. You don't have to stack the box on JT at that point. People picking up like crazy in my leagues right now. He's 43. What the fuck is he gonna? Who? People are picking up who at 43? Rivers or Flacco? Phillip Rivers has got to be older than 43 at this point. Tell me he's not. Flacco, I think, is 43. If not a year or two younger than Rodgers, who's 42. Rivers. Ha! Look, there are those out there, right? Philip Goat. There are people out there that play the waiver wire game as if it's the game within the game, which it kind of sort of is, right? It's a big part of fantasy, being out in front of your league mates, your competitors. Get out ahead of it. The Phillip Rivers is not coming out of retirement and playing for the Colts right now. I don't see that happening at all. I think look, option 1 is the one that they have right now, Riley Leonard. Option 2 is the one that they already have right now. He's just on IR. That's Anthony Richardson. Option 3 now. Option 3 is a little intriguing with the Joe Flacco stuff because he did play for them. He's not doing anything for the freaking Bengals. We know that. They may give him an opportunity to go start. Slick Rick or Shakir. I would most likely go with Khalil Shakir. I know he did have a touchdown yesterday. Things are a little bit better for Shakir and the Bills, but Slick Rick is going to have to show it to us. Can't just go on the fact that they were on bye and they were hoping to work out of it with him, hoping to get him going with the bye week. At least we know Khalil Shakir is playing snaps and getting production on the Bills. He's a good wide receiver 3. He's a good wide receiver 3. Slick Rick. The 2 games, right? 2 or 3 games that he had to do well for us. Going into bye, he laid eggs. Eggs. He's left us with eggs. People were trying to drop him last week. Like, should I drop Slick Rick? Should I drop Slick Rick? We was like, no, don't drop Slick Rick. Don't drop him yet. Hold on to him, but we can't. We need to see something from him first. It's too risky. He's way too risky to start him now. Right? I'd rather start the guy that I know can at least get me X amount of points. With a touchdown, it gets even better. All right, goats. Appreciate you all. Again, please like the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Wish you the best of luck, everyone. Appreciate you. Good night.